You just pulled into the dealership parking lot. The car you've been driving for 6 years is starting to make that sound. You know the one. Something in the suspension, something under the hood you don't want to think about. And the salesperson is already walking towards you with that smile, that handshake, that let's just see what we can do for you today. 3 hours later, you're signing paperwork for a brand new SUV, $740 a month, 72 months, and somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a quiet voice that says, should I really be doing this right now? You push it down because the car is nice, because you've worked hard for 30 years, because after everything you've been through, you deserve something that doesn't rattle when you hit 60 on the highway. I get it. I've been in that exact seat, pen in hand, ignoring that same voice. But here's what I wish someone had told me then. And what nobody is telling our generation right now. That $700 car payment sitting in your monthly budget might be the single biggest thing standing between you and a retirement that actually works. Not your income, not your mortgage, your car. And the math behind why is going to change how you think about every vehicle you drive from this point forward. My name is Jack. I'm Gen X, same as you, and I spend a lot of time studying what actually works financially for people like us in our 50s. Not the recycled advice designed for 25-year-olds, but real strategies for where we actually are right now. If that's useful to you, hit subscribe and tap the thumbs up. It helps more than you think. Quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Now let's get into this. Before I get into the numbers, let's talk about why this particular trap hits our generation so much harder than anyone else. We grew up watching our parents drive the same car for 12, 15 years. They didn't care what it looked like. A car was a tool. It got you to work and back, and that was enough. But somewhere along the way, things shifted for us. The car stopped being just transportation. It became proof. Proof that we made it, like proof that all those years of grinding through recessions and layoffs and financial chaos actually led somewhere real. And here's the part nobody talks about. Like, the auto industry knows this about us. They've studied our generation specifically. They know that Gen X, squeezed between aging parents and adult kids who moved back home, burned by 2008, still shaky from COVID, will say yes to that monthly payment because it's one of the few things in our overstretched lives that feels like tangible progress. A new car doesn't argue with you, doesn't need tuition money, doesn't call from the emergency room at 2 a.m. This isn't about being foolish with money. This isn't a discipline failure. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry that has gotten extremely good at selling emotional relief to a generation running on fumes. And they package it in 72-month loans with low monthly numbers so the total cost stays buried in the fine print you sign too quickly. We didn't fall into this trap because we're careless. We fell in because the trap was specifically engineered for people who feel exactly the way we feel. But here's where we start climbing out. Let's put real numbers on this, because when you see them side by side, everything shifts. The average new car payment in America right now is $739 a month. For a lot of us in our 50s, people buying reliable mid-tier SUVs and trucks that sticker between $40,000 and $55,000. It's often higher. The average loan term has quietly stretched to almost 68 months. That's nearly 6 years of payments on something that starts losing value the second you drive it off the lot. Think about this for a second. If you're 55 years old and you sign a 72-month loan today, you'll be making car payments until you're 61. And if you trade in at that point and do it all over again, which is exactly what the dealership is counting on, you're now carrying car payments into your retirement, into the years when every dollar matters most. Now let me show you the other side of that same equation. $739 a month invested instead of sent to a lender, earning a 7% average annual return. In 10 years, that becomes roughly $128,000. Give it 12 years, you get about $170,000. That's not a raise you need to negotiate. That's not a side hustle. That's money already flowing out of your account every single month, just pointed in the wrong direction. And here's the analogy that finally made this click for me. Imagine your money as employees working for you. Right now, your best worker, $700 a month, rain or shine, never misses a shift, is sitting in your driveway depreciating. That's what a car does. It loses value every single day you own it. Meanwhile, your retirement account is running short-staffed, doing its best with whatever you can spare, and you keep promising it. Maybe next year I'll send some help. You don't have an income problem, you have an allocation problem. And that $700 monthly decision is exactly where it lives. So if the math is this clear, why is it so hard to change? Why do smart, capable people in their 50s keep making the same choice? Because it's not really about the car. It never was. A 2022 study from the American Psychological Association found that financial decisions made under chronic stress, the kind of grinding, low-level stress our generation has carried for 2 decades straight, consistently prioritize immediate emotional relief over long-term gain. Psychologists call this present bias. And it's not a character weakness, it's a survival mechanism. When your nervous system has been running in fight or flight mode for years, it reaches for comfort wherever it can find it, fast. And a new car is one of the most accessible, most immediate forms of comfort available to someone our age. It's instant, it's tangible. You can sit in it and feel something shift inside you. Compare that to adding $500 to a retirement account you can't touch for 15 years. You feel nothing. The balance barely moves. The reward is invisible, abstract, and a decade and a half away. But our generation has a very specific version of this that I've been thinking about for a long time. We spent our 20s and 30s being told to wait for the economy to recover, wait for the housing market to normalize, wait for your career to catch up after the layoffs. We finally reach an income level where we can afford something nice, something right now, something we can feel. The idea of redirecting that money into yet another account we can't touch for another 15 years feels like being told to wait all over again. And we're tired of waiting. I felt that resistance in myself, the instinct that says, yeah, I've earned this and I'm not putting it off one more year, and you have earned it. That's real. That's not the question. The question is whether the car payment is quietly costing you something much bigger than the car itself, something that never appears on the window sticker. And for most of us at 55, the answer is yes. The hidden cost of that payment is time. And time at our age is the one thing we can't refinance. But here's where it gets interesting. Most financial advice about cars says the same 2 words: buy used and walks away. Drive a beater, bank the difference. And sure, on a spreadsheet, that's technically correct, but it completely ignores the reality of being 55 with a 40-minute commute, a family depending on you, and a back that doesn't love folding into a rusted-out Corolla with no lumbar support anymore. Here's the part most people completely miss. You don't have to give up a good car. You have to give up the payment. And those are 2 entirely different things. Let me explain. The average Gen Xer trades in their vehicle every 4 to 5 years, usually while they still owe money on it. That remaining balance, the negative equity, gets quietly rolled into the next loan. So now you're not just paying for the new car, you're paying for a car and a half. Some people are 3 or 4 rollovers deep without realizing it. You're making monthly payments on ghost cars, vehicles you don't even own anymore, parked in some stranger's garage or already sitting in a junkyard, and you're still writing checks for them. The real shift isn't about downgrading your car, it's about breaking the payment cycle completely and moving into what financial planners call the ownership phase. Here's how it works. You keep your current vehicle for 2 to 3 years past the final loan payment. During that window, when you have no car payment at all, you redirect every dollar of what you were paying straight into your retirement accounts. Now run the math with me. If your car is paid off and you move $700 a month into your 401k with catch-up contributions, that's $8,400 a year in new retirement money, on top of whatever you're already putting in. Over a 5-year ownership window, while driving a perfectly good, fully paid off vehicle, that's over $50,000 in raw contributions. Factor in compound growth and you're closer to $60,000 or $65,000. And here's the number that should stop you cold. That single 5-year decision made once at age 55 can add between $60,000 and $80,000 to your retirement by the time you're 67 from a car you already own, already paid for, already sitting in your driveway. You don't need to earn more money. You need to keep the car longer. That's not sacrifice, that's strategy. All right, let's turn this into action. 3 steps, all doable in the next 30 days. I've walked through each one myself, so this isn't theory from a textbook. Step 1, and do this before anything else. Find out exactly what you owe on your current vehicle and what it's actually worth right now. Check your remaining loan balance online or call your lender directly. It takes 5 minutes. Then pull up your car's current market value on Kelley Blue Book or Edmunds. What you want to know is one number, your equity position. If the car is worth more than you owe, you have real options. If you're upside down, meaning you owe more than the car is worth, that's critical information because it means trading in right now actually makes the trap deeper, not shallower. You're rolling negative equity into the next loan and paying interest on a vehicle that's already gone. Either way, knowing your exact equity position takes 10 minutes and completely changes the conversation you have with yourself and with any dealership. The second thing, which most advisors skip entirely, calculate your total car cost over the last 10 years. Sit down and add up every car payment you've made in the last decade. Include what you put down. Include the interest charges, include the gap insurance, the extended warranties, all of it. For most of us, that total lands somewhere between $70,000 and $90,000 just on cars, just to get to work and back. Now divide that number by 10. That's $7,000 to $9,000 a year that went into a depreciating asset instead of a compounding one. You don't need that number to feel guilty. Yeah, guilt doesn't build wealth. You need it to feel clarity. Because once you see the actual decade-long cost written down in front of you, the decision to keep your next car for a few extra years stops feeling like a sacrifice. It starts looking like the most obvious financial move you've ever made. Third, and this one is specific to our age group, set up an automatic redirect right now for the day your current car loan ends. Go into your bank's online portal or your payroll system and create one rule. The month your final car payment processes, that exact dollar amount starts flowing automatically into your 401k or IRA. Don't wait until the loan is actually paid off to think about this. Decide now. Automate it now. Because if you wait, that freed up $700 will silently get absorbed into your monthly spending. A dinner here, an upgrade there, and you'll never feel it leave. But if it's automated from day one of your payment-free window, it goes straight into the account that actually compounds your future. And if you're over 50, those catch-up contribution limits mean your 401k can absorb up to $30,500 per year. That car payment fits right in. The best part, since it's money you were already used to spending, you won't feel a single difference in your daily life. You'll only feel it the first time you check your retirement balance and see a number that actually moved. These aren't 5-year projects. These are decisions you make this month that echo for the next 12 years of your financial life. Remember that moment at the dealership, the new car smell, the pen hovering over the signature line, that quiet voice in the back of your mind you pushed aside. Here's what I want to say to that version of you. And honestly, to the version of me who sat in that same chair not that long ago. You weren't being reckless. You were being human. A tired, overextended, sandwiched between everything human being who just wanted one thing in life to feel good and feel new. That's not a flaw. That's not financial illiteracy. That's 30 years of economic chaos looking for 5 minutes of relief. But now you know the math, and the math says the most powerful retirement move available to you at 55 isn't a promotion, isn't a side hustle, isn't some complicated trading strategy you saw on YouTube. It's keeping a car you already own for a few more years and letting that monthly payment work for your future instead of a dealership's quarterly earnings report. You don't need to earn your way out of this. You've been earning enough all along. You just need to redirect what's already flowing. The car gets you to work. The payment redirected gets you to retirement. One decision, one redirect, 12 years of compound growth. That's the trade. Quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice.